Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Tech Frenzy. This is a special episode. I am here with you guys with SoFi at all-time highs and climbing, ladies and gentlemen, up nearly 240% over the last year. But today, we're up roughly 5% right now to 2850. This is pushing all-time highs. Historical high was 28.55, which was just hit a few minutes ago. Okay? An unbelievable, incredible day. Everyone was worried about rate cuts. Oh, Tanner, I think you got something wrong. Rate cuts are clearly bad because, look, the market ended up selling off. No. Okay? Rate cuts are good for companies like SoFi. Okay? So aside from just the rate cuts coming in, we also saw Dan Dolev post for Tip Ranks that he believes that the stock is worth closer to $30 per share. Now, that's not some, far-reaching number from what we've seen already. I mean, we are definitely surpassing the regular analyst predictions. So now SoFi needs to prove that their earnings can show up and be higher than what essentially every single analyst is predicting right now, which is, not that great of revenue, 55 cents of EPS. Their estimates are also very low. From everything that I've seen for Q3, and we've shown this often in the last video, the last couple earnings, website traffic, Google trends, everything from the marketing material that people are getting, it all looks like they are pushing harder than ever in Q3 than any other quarter we've ever seen. So, this is SoFi all the way. Piyush actually in chat saying S&P 500. I mean, if they show the earnings off, I definitely could see that happening over the next little bit. Not because of just the price action, but also what we're seeing fundamentally. It could be. People might have to wait, 12 months or so for that to happen. But that does add a base of new customers that have to purchase into SoFi stock that will not leave during bear markets. So it makes higher highs and higher lows. Because SoFi could end up coming back down, but hopefully, if fundamentally they continue to grow tangible book value, add more customers, increase margins, that those lower lows will never hit single digits again. Okay? This is a spectacular time. Now, the interesting thing, the psychology of breaking all-time highs is now we're in price discovery. Because before, people could look at the charts previously and say, hey, you know what? We've been this high before. There's some point within this investment thesis where it could be dipping down, and if fundamentally it stays strong, it will recover back to all-time highs. But now that we've shot through that, it leaves investors thinking, okay, well, how do we actually value this business? Why don't we relook at the company? This is not on a price action anymore and returning to where we were before. Now it's on, hey, what do we think their growth is going to be like? What are, consumer reactions? Let's actually do some real studies and channel checks on the business to see how strong SoFi is versus their competitors. I think that you're going to find, whenever you do that, there are very few names, extremely few, that can even hold a candle to SoFi. Now, if anyone remembers that whenever Chime ended up going public, people were getting so hyped up on this name, and this actually doesn't show you the true price that it actually hit during IPO. It actually went up to nearly $45 a share, so up to here, okay? And now we're less than half of that. So the stock, and especially during this time, whenever they went public in June, we can just go to compare. Whenever you have good comps, people can actually see where the stock, so midway through June, SoFi was roughly at $13, $14 a share. SoFi has doubled and Chime got cut in half because we got to see a stock that actually is comparable one-to-one with SoFi. What are the member growth like? What's the average revenue per user, the CAC costs, lifetime value per customer? What's your full range of products? Do people grow into your products or do they grow out of your products? There's a real way to value the difference between SoFi and Chime. And the fact that SoFi owns a bank and has that additional amount of earnings. But wow. Writing covered calls here, definitely. Okay. Still being far out. I don't think that, okay, I'm trying to make some price prediction on, Friday is the day where we cap out on pricing because some quad witching event or something like this. No, I'm not making predictions like that. I am still going to go far out on my pricing, but whenever stocks are hitting all-time highs, that we can take advantage of people's volatility. And yeah, so I am doing covered calls. When will SoFi post an earnings revision? I don't know if they will. Like, I think that they could because of earnings or because of rate cuts and the 3 rate cuts going forward. But I think that they will just leave it till, guidance updates on the next quarter. It's not that crazy. I mean, Q3 is 12 days left, 13 days left. And by the time earnings, we're not even going to see a bunch of banks start to change their cost of funding on or the cost of their APYs on checking accounts and all of these things for a while. So it's not going to affect Q3. They can revise during the quarter for what is going to happen in Q4. But, not to say anything other than they absolutely will revise. It will be more bullish for Q4. I just don't know what that percentage will be like. I'm so Tevis when it comes to... You can't use his name like that. You can't be like, oh, I'm so Tevis. But I know what you mean. You're anytime you say the stock is not going to get to this price, it gets to that price. I think that's what you're trying to highlight here. Can you guys imagine if we get another loan platform deal or Galileo signs a monster? Well, loan platform deal, we definitely have gotten a ton. So I think it was last quarter about 60% or 58% of all the loan platform business that was on our platform was not through a customer that we knew was on the platform. So whenever people think of the loan platform business, they think of, Blue Owl, or Fortress Group, or Edge Focus, or something like this. But it's 50+% of the overall deal volume was not through disclosed partnerships. Okay. There will be those. Absolutely. Dan Dolev upgraded SoFi? Yes, to $30. We covered that. And he also put out a report just today saying, what are the companies that will benefit most from rate cuts? And SoFi was high on that list. I actually think FIS was the highest on the list by a long shot, but I'm not an investor in FIS, nor do I care. Let's see what FIS is doing today. It's down 1.2%. So, yeah, get to grips. All right, Dan. Also, I spoke with Dan at the Hood Summit. He said he's happy to come on at any time. He's going to come on the, the FinTech Frenzy or the Friday show, like what have you. He's down to do content. So he loves the community so much. Tanner, you're either late or way too early. Well, I set the stream to be really, really early, and then I decided to come late anyway. So I thought I'd mix it up on you guys. The truth is that I'll be gone tonight and tomorrow. So this is going to be the last little bit of content until Saturday, in which I plan to put out more videos on Saturday and Sunday all the way through the next week. So, yeah, just hard right now. It's busy season for me. So, yeah. What would be a monster for the technology platform? Any large bank, consumer business, something like this would be huge. So Citigroup, Wells Fargo, something like that would be a monster. In the same breath, a large technology company or consumer group that has, millions, millions, and millions of consumers that want to come onto the platform, that would be huge. No, it's not. It's not a day job. I don't have a day job. This is my day job. I mean more social crap. Like, there's just a lot of stuff happening that I have to be a part of. And right now it's just freaking, I'm 27. So every single one of my friends is getting married right now. And so I'm just busy back to back to back. I've got weddings, like 3 weddings in a row, back to back to back. And then, yeah. There's stuff changing in the house that I got to help with. I got to help other family members with things. It's just, I just want to do this, but yet I get talked into doing other things, pulled away from my computer, and then freaking, SoFi hits all-time highs. Nvidia's signing $5 billion deals to, buy a percentage or buy a stake in Intel. I mean, everything happens whenever I'm gone. When am I getting married? Don't know. What's the next catalyst for SoFi crypto? Being released, I would hope. Yeah. I hope I won't be late to my wedding. I'd be late to everything if it wasn't for my girlfriend. But yeah. So if I'm going to an event with her, I'm usually on time. If I go alone, I'm late. That's how it works, I guess. I'm drinking a hot coffee and an iced coffee. That's some dedication right there. You guys don't know which one I'm going to sip on next. Is Tanner's audio and lips out of sync? I wouldn't believe that to be true. My Wi-Fi now is muy bueno. So, yeah. If everything happens when you go, please go. Yeah. I'm out, but good game, guys. Yeah, I mean that happened a lot, right? During the run up, we lost a lot of good soldiers on SoFi. It happens. But to the people who stuck through, like I just got shared Josh's account on X. I think he's at like $9 million in SoFi. So every 5% move for him is life-changing, It's incredible. Tanner has a girlfriend. That's funny. Somebody ban that guy. No, I'm kidding. I'm a good target. I'm aware. What's wrong with me having a girlfriend? How many members Q3? Probably over 900,000 would be my new estimate. Like, I mean, it's going to be a stupid amount is what it seems like. Josh Allen's running SoFi commercials tonight. Sweet. Sweet. Tanner, how's your dog? It's with my girlfriend's parents right now because we're gone for so long. So, yeah. Tanner, I was freaking out in the middle of work, says Bob. It is so exciting. And like, honestly, guys, while we're live here, we might actually be breaching new highs again if we end up getting past 55 cents. So, yeah. Not Josh Allen, Josh Quack. I don't know how to say his name, nor am I looking at it. It's like KWAKAK or something like that. I'm trying to see it in my head, but I can't even. Is it with an S? Cossack? Maybe it's with an S. Maybe I'm putting too many K's in there. I don't know. KWCAK. Okay, got you. Hi from Switzerland. Hello. Congratulations, everyone. And this is what the question that everyone's going to be sort of associating, right? Is, are we overpriced at 28.52? My thing is that stocks can get expensive. And I think it's hard to know what rate cuts and SoFi is going to do to accelerate their growth with these types of tailwinds. If they stay at their same level of growth rates and margins, and right now even Wall Street is expecting those to come down, then yes, we are overvalued, or at least very expensive. I think that's more of a proper term, is to say that we're expensive, not overvalued. However, if what I think is going to happen is that we accelerate on growth, not by a little, by a lot, okay, by a lot, while also bringing up margin, then we are potentially not overvalued. Holy, ladies and gentlemen, we just broke another high. Should I push it up a little bit? I wasn't going to purchase at these prices, but I like I like watching the number go up. Let's go for 29 today. Yeah, I mean, congratulations to all the people that are like 100%, you know. Tanner, teach us something. Going live just to say nothing but all-time highs. I was excited. I wanted to go live. I do want to talk about NVIDIA, but it's hard to whenever, like, literally I'm watching the stock hit new highs as I'm live. But essentially, there's a lot of talk about Intel right now and NVIDIA. I continue to be extremely bullish on NVIDIA. I think that they have so much money, they don't even know what to do with it. So they can continue to make investments into things like Intel and diversify some of the partners that they're working with, and also make that, potentially even more leaning towards American foundries and designers. So that's very good. Trump wants that. They've made a stake in Intel. Masayoshi Son with SoftBank has made an investment in Intel, now NVIDIA. Those are some insanely powerful partners. So, of course, Intel stock is doing what it's doing, up 22% now today, falling ever so slightly. But NVIDIA up 3.7% on the fact that they just spent $5 billion. Supposedly this partnership was in the works for months. But yeah, I continue to be a long-term investor. That includes SoFi, that includes NVIDIA. I know maybe that's hard to keep hearing without just new picks constantly. I think some people took a breath of fresh air whenever I said that I was taking a stake in, D-Local. But I don't know. I like holding on to the companies that continuously do well. And like, I've purchased this company like under $5 a share. Those same shares that I was holding back then are now worth $28.55. Every penny's like 100K for Noto. Yeah, I DM'd him today. I just said, hey, thank you so much for everything you do. And he said, much appreciated, and thanks for being on the journey. I was like, sweet. I also included in a message, I said, hopefully, we can meet one time in person, and, hopefully that happens at an investor day or something. You didn't say anything, but yeah. We need videos on how to reduce taxes. That's not me. I'm not an accountant, nor am I an American. So I don't even fully understand the accounts that you guys are investing in. Any updates on new? No, I mean, nothing in particular. We'll see more whenever they show off earnings once again. They're more late to show off earnings than other companies like SoFi, but yeah, they're doing fantastic. And yeah, Tanner's at the level where even a response from Noto isn't even exciting anymore for him. It was exciting. That's not true. I was very excited. A bunch of people saying water. Thank you, guys. Noto is playing hard to get. Do you think lowering rates is going to help news earnings? Now that's interesting. And the answer is pretty simple. I mean, no, not really. Potentially that it leads to more money that's coming into equities, and then those equities might find, if everything is a little bit hot, that they go to international markets. That's usually what happens in any sort of market, whether it's crypto or equities, that the main companies, the Mag 7s, usually catch a bid, and then the small cap names usually catch a bid after that. And then underneath that, potentially emerging markets, international businesses, stuff like this would then catch a bid. So as lowered rates brings more money onto markets, yeah, maybe that helps out new, but helps out their earnings? I can't really see too much. They have very little amounts of debts that are with the United States. Not none, but very, very little. Tanner, on this very green day, how's the community portfolio? That is interesting. I didn't even get to see, nor did I get to see what SBET is doing today. SBET's up 4%. That's going to be good for the portfolio. Where's BMNR? BMNR, $60 a share. Fantastic. Intel up 22. NVIDIA up 3.7. Rivian up 5.4. That's crazy. Let's take a quick look at the biggest movers of the day. Orbs is up 20%. That's going to help BMNR as well. CleanSpark up 18. Bullish up 14. Centrus Energy up 14. Oklo up 14. CrowdStrike up 12.5. They had a great Falcon presentation that they ended up doing. HIMS up 11. Yeah, I mean, markets are bullish. This is what rate cuts do. People get excited. Intel leading the charge on NVIDIA's news, which then goes back to help NVIDIA because they ended up taking a stake at $22 per share. It's pennies for them. I mean, we're talking in billions of dollars, but they're just so freaking big now that, we need huge moves in order for people to get excited for SoFi. Right now, the community portfolio is green. SoFi's up 5, SBET's up 4, Abceller up 5, Hood up 3. AMD's actually down, which is crazy, down 0.6%. But yeah. Okay, let's see. What did he just tweet? Who tweeted? Who? Tell me. Okay. SoFi. Oh, SoFi ended up actually commenting. Like SoFi. Thank you. So I tweeted this, thanks for the all-time high. This guy said, thank you. Your content on YouTube is really informative. Thanks for being interested in this company. We're so happy to hear this. If there's any questions we can answer for you, or if you'd like any further information on anything, you know where to find us. And thanks for all the support. Future investing. I think that's the first time SoFi has ever acknowledged me. That's great. Except I reach out to SoFi all the time. Can I have any further information? Can I have an interview perhaps? But, maybe one day. It's much easier to talk about your company whenever you're not at 52-week lows and you're actually breaking 52-week highs. That can be a much easier interview. Sounds automated. Well, I mean, yeah, it's still a professional account. They're representing a bank, What do you want, a hat? No, I want an interview. I want to talk to Anthony Noto. I want to talk to Chris Lapointe. Not to say I deserve it or anything, but it's good for them. You know what I realized? Whenever I put out an interview with Jared Isaacman, the amount of people that use that, I still get a lot of views on those old interviews, because then whenever people go, okay, I'm looking at this new stock. Okay, let's find out everything about this individual, the CEO, who runs this company. Then they go through all the earnings calls, they go through all the interviews, they just type in Jared Isaacman interview on YouTube. You type in Anthony Noto interview, you're going to find some older clips or just CNBC short 6-minute clips. Let's do an hour interview. Let's do an hour and 30 and really get to see how this this company thinks. Because like whenever I was sitting there talking with Johan, who I hadn't really had a long conversation with on Robinhood crypto, that's his department. And I just honestly got to sit with him for a bit and talk about cryptocurrency. I had 100 questions. A lot of them, I would ask him a question. He'd go, honestly, I can't really give you an answer on that. Honestly, you know, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that or something like this. And then I go, okay, we move on. Like, but can't hurt to ask. AMD is solid, no fear. I don't have AMD fear, but I'm just a little bit more bullish on what's it called? NVIDIA. Let's see where AMD is right now. 157 on the day. What hits 200 first, NVIDIA or AMD? That was the big topic of conversation before, right? Everyone was very sure it was going to be AMD back in the day. I heard from, 90% of you guys saying the smaller company wins. We shall see. Noto's post. Noto. Okay, I see a post of his talking about the Bill Gurley comment that we ended up referring to yesterday. This was his saying, which company is going to emerge as, the next big payment company on top of stablecoin rails? Is it going to be the mega caps? Is it going to be, SoFi and Coinbase and all of these names, Circle? You can see which one I picked. I think that the fintech layer is going to run a lot of that and then help out the companies above. I agree with your thesis, Bill Gurley. There will be a new large alternative payment network. Not sure about the replacing piece. And only one of those companies you listed has the most sought after banking license to innovate across all key areas to gain the network effects required to have a great payment network. If there's one thing I know about Anthony Noto, he loves payments. Like, talk about someone that would have been very happy to have been the CEO of PayPal potentially. I mean, he loves payments. The best license is an OCC national banking charter that can accept deposits that are insured by the FDIC, provide transactional accounts people already trust, earn federal funds interest rates on deposits at the Fed bank, no need to buy treasuries or other duration risk-yielding instruments, offer loans, issue stable coins, own a layer 1 blockchain. I don't know if I care about that. Own a layer 1 blockchain, whatever, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, let's not forget they already own a payment processing and issuing technology that processes 8 billion transactions a year. Bro, why don't you disclose that? That's the first time I've heard that they're doing 8 billion transactions a year in a long, long, long time. I remember probably in 2021, they said they were doing 80 billion of payment volume. 8 billion transactions. I wonder what the average payment size is, but that would be interesting to see what their actual TPV looks like. The other companies to compete with likely apply for more limited inferior OCC licenses, trust bank charter, in order to issue stablecoins, but that won't be enough. Over the long run, though, political cycles, administrations, regulatory leadership changes, and innovation cycles, we will see who has a competitive advantage. And as importantly, who can execute. Fresh horses we ride. I mean, yeah. This is what I mean, though. This is what I mean. A bunch of people want to say or put a label on SoFi saying this is a bank, they're going to do banking things. Like, he wants to be a payments company. He wants to earn all of his money as a toll road and be a much, much bigger player in the world of financial services than what people, I think, are originally seeing. And I think we're seeing that a lot more, especially in cryptocurrency, because I think it's the keys are no longer in the hands of just the existing players with walled gardens and everything like this. Like, there's a new set of keys, and everyone's sprinting towards it. And I think he's very focused on trying to do that than just trying to work with the existing players. However, I did like the comment there that he said, well, I don't know about replacing the existing players. This has been another thing that I've heard from Jared Isaacman, from Anthony Noto now, bunch of players in the space that, no, Visa and MasterCard will be around. Like, they will still be here, but there's going to be new players and new payment types as well. We will see. How's the DD on dLocal doing? I haven't really looked since that day, to be honest. It's been, yeah, guys. I've honestly been swamped. Oh, cool. Navan is potentially doing an IPO. That's so cool. Me and Crossroads were looking into this business. It's like a almost B2B software business to help with employee travel and expenses, to manage it all on one platform and everything. Supposedly they might be IPOing in Q4. I'm going to have to take a look at that. Do we expect news from SoFi? Well, the thing is that whenever we're looking at the consumer facing news from SoFi, that stuff is, one, not few and far between, but like, we struggle to get information out of them on the consumer facing products. On the B2B payment stuff, it's going to be a bit. We'll have to hear about that on earnings calls if things are being worked on that are, absolutely huge. Now, he did bring up layer 1 blockchain. I don't like that, but you want things to be interoperable. That's how companies will make things that are very huge. Is if you're working on the Ethereum network, I think you have much higher chances of being adopted than creating your own. We'll see. Yeah. App hit another all-time high. Glad you got on board. Yeah, let's take a look. Was it like 622? Oh my gosh, I was thinking like 610. Boom. That is just incredible. This is going to be a truly special name. $210 billion market cap. And there's reason to believe that it could possibly go much, much higher. Yeah. Got out of the trade desk, got into app loving. Never looked back. Why dLocal and not Adyen? dLocal looks much cheaper, growing faster. But yeah, I mean, technology-wise, and I'm not super versed on dLocal, it does look like Adyen has the better tech stack. And that if they were going 1-to-1, I would pick Adyen as being the winner, because their cost structure is just insane, and no one is seemingly able to offer payments as cheap as they can. And I mean, no one, not another company in the world. But dLocal's not in the same space. They're in their own geography, and growing insanely fast because the adoption rate there is just huge. New at $16 per share. Congratulations. How many monitors are you currently using? On my PC, 4, and then with an additional iPad, 5. And then I also have a teleprompter sometimes that I use as another camera or as another screen, not to show words, but to show another monitor, which people don't fully know. But you can just display anything, but it just goes through your camera lens. So I'll use that sometimes to display another monitor. But yeah. Is there an argument to say that there's still room to run on Nebius? I mean, I'm sure there is. They're still so young into a very, very long runway, especially if artificial intelligence is a 10-year build out. Like Nebius will be not actually an iPad. No. Zach, you didn't get me there. I say iPad. It's just the verb that's used. It's a Samsung Tab 7 or something. Yeah, we just went through Noto's tweets just a second ago, unless he just tweeted again. The payment ones on the Bill Gurley comment, we just read it. The comments, data-driven investing is trying to make it sound like own a layer one blockchain is a interesting concept. I actually don't like that. It's the same thing that Stripe is trying to do. The entire payments industry seems to not want that because they don't want to hand the keys over to a single business and say, here, you know what? And by the way, like setting up the nodes, the costs of everything, it doesn't seem like it works as well as just building onto an existing layer one and then you building your layer two. Okay. Well, AI infrastructure companies did several X during the last years. Yeah, but the amount of demand has several X'd over the last couple of years as well. Hey, from Denmark, was here from the start of the SoFi Weekly. Beaver, I mean, holy crap, man. It's a long journey. With Riley, Amit, Tevis, and myself. It's good to be, we're sitting on top now. Nearly 240% in the last year alone. And for a lot of you, like we're talking about beating out this price. Many people did not buy here. I didn't buy it in any of this. I ended up starting my position somewhere around here and then buying all the way down, accumulating a ton here, and now appreciating over time. Now, this was a hard wait. This was hard. There was a lot of convincing. A lot of people saying that, this was bad investing or whatever. But, I've been picking up the nickname Timeline Tanner as of the last couple of days, but I didn't really look at the timeline for SoFi. Next up, 50K subs. Who would have assumed that SoFi gets to 30 before 50K subs, eh? Freaking amazing. Yeah, I've bought every Friday for that entire graph. We'll continue. Zach, that's insane. Remember when everyone literally said it would never get out of $7? Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the many of people, which I'm not a screenshot and rub it in their face later on, but so many people had said, okay, I'm jumping ship. This is useless. I'm going to go buy XYZ or something like this. And then those companies ended up not doing as well. Whatever. Yeah, a lot of people are picking apart Noto's comments on the layer one aspect of the blockchain comment. People are saying maybe he misspoke. Not a chance. I thought that with the Bitcoin thing. I don't think he misspeaks anymore. Somebody check on Strongman. Yeah, I mean, a bunch of people tried to say I was like shilling garbage and scamming and stuff because I was talking about a bank that they, he did the same thing with Amit whenever Palantir was $8. He said, this is a nothing company. It's not worth anything. That's gone up to, $180 a share. He's tried saying SoFi was bad, Robinhood was bad, everything like this. I mean, I cannot think of somebody who's been on the worst side of history. Like, you need to have conviction, and whenever things get bad, there's a lot of naysayers, and people will make videos about you or whatever, or at least they did about me and Amit and a bunch of people saying this is just a bank. And then you see comments like what we see from Noto that says, hey, this is more than just a bank. You know, this seems like a lot more. Okay. Let's quickly see if we can get someone on here to talk about this Noto tweet. Okay. There we go. Wedbush price target. I mean, there is some price targets that are extremely low still. I think bologna is still at $6 a share. Yeah. What is he saying is bad now? I'm buying. I don't think he does that anymore. It's the same thing of like those people that used to short stocks. They just get it so wrong. And then they're like, okay, well, we're going to be a long, like we're only going to go long on our companies. But yeah. I think Strongman, from what I saw, that he was doing some tax advice stuff or ETFs and stuff like that, which is perfectly fine. But to say that other people's investment styles are just terrible is, I think, a bad take. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the great and powerful Roy Crossroads.
Hey,
How you doing?
good. How are you?
Doing very well. We just saw a tweet come in from Noto that I think highlights probably the most important part of, like, this is not just a bank. They have larger aspects than this. And in fact, he went as far as to say things like own a layer one blockchain. What the heck is going on?
I think that he mistyped there and meant layer two. That would make a lot more sense in my mind. I don't know, unless they're doing an acquisition, which you can, acquire the company that's behind some of the layer one, smaller layer one blockchains. This wouldn't be own Ethereum or Bitcoin, but there are others as well. More likely than not, he meant layer two, which is a little bit redundant with stablecoin, but not necessarily. I'm guessing that from comments that he's made in the past, and comments he's made in this as well. Basically, there's two implementations of crypto across SoFi, like broadly. One is internal, which they can do a lot of stuff with lending, kind of like what Figure does. They talked about like fractionalizing like corporate bonds and a lot of different other things. So I think that there's that side of that, plus a lot of efficiency gains you can have just by using digital payment rails or digital rails internally. JP Morgan Chase does this as well, and it's very effective for them. And I think that there's external usage as well. He's talked about using this for payments. And so I think that's probably what he's going at. But if not, this might be as confusing to me as why they're using Bitcoin in the Lightning Network for for remittances, which is, I think a temporary measure. But he understands crypto well. So I'm guessing he just put L1 instead of L2. Big long post off the top of his head. I love it. I love that the BHAG is not like really close to the vest, but he's showing the cards.
Chris, did you think that this was a typo?
I
By the
don't
way, I did
know,
not.
honestly. I don't think he would have. I think he probably would have proofread that at least once or twice before sending it. And I
Yeah.
don't think it was necessarily a typo, but I'm surprised by it.
I'm super surprised. I'm not excited about it. I
I
don't think
don't
it's a
know
typo.
whether I'm excited or not,
I thought the
honestly.
Bitcoin thing was a typo at first, and then we found out very quickly that that was not a typo. That they have definitely a different way of looking at crypto. Then Stripe ended up coming out with Tempo, which was a layer one blockchain that they're trying to help with payments. So maybe SoFi sees them owning the entire stack, and they want companies building off of their L1. It seems like the harder road to take, but I mean, if we think SoFi, they kind of like to take the harder road often, right?
It's true.
not renting charters, getting all 50 licenses, getting a real OCC national charter. They like taking the hard road.
It's so much harder. So yeah, uh, I wouldn't say I'd be bearish on it, but like L2s, like that's a layup for them. Makes a lot of sense. They can implement that a lot more quickly as well. I think that that's probably the direction that he meant. But if it is layer one, we just have to hear more. But you know, if it would either be a massive acquisition or it would require talent that maybe they don't have. Now they do have Flory. You know, she came over to SoFi. I'm like, okay, great. They're really going after crypto. She can lead that project. She's done in the past as well, but you need a lot of other engineers behind that. So this would be an expensive endeavor that would be hard. Now, if it works, I mean, that's amazing, but it's really challenging too. So I'd prefer layer two, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, yeah. This was what Stripe ended up putting out. They designed this along with Paradigm and are creating their own thing to help with the throughput that potentially Ethereum might not offer. But there's ways to increase that type of thing with Base or other layer twos. So I think that's kind of a cop out. But
yeah, I'm even skeptical on this working for Stripe. And if anyone can pull it off, it's Stripe. So
right.
like putting SoFi against Stripe in this level one vector, I'm like, my money would be on Stripe. So, and I still don't think that Stripe could do it. So, yeah. But you know, we'll see. It's nice that it's out there, and I'm sure that there will be times where maybe it'll be the earnings call, or he's been a little bit more open to that. He'll say and clarify, like, yes, by level one, we do mean level one. So, it's interesting.
It's just, I think it's very clear to say it's not just a bank, right? They're definitely looking at being very disruptive and redefining what it means to be a technology company in the financial services field. But how are you guys feeling? I mean, we're at all-time highs. We just slid a little bit. We're at 28.30, which is hilarious. But it felt better whenever it was 28.57. But
yeah,
how are you guys feeling?
I'm pretty
Real
bearish
quick
because we slid 20 cents. So no, just kidding.
On the other thing, do you think it's possible that this is going to happen via an acquisition? Right? Does this open
Yes.
up the door that they're probably going to be acquiring something? If they're going to, own a level one, it doesn't seem like it does seem like the quicker way to get that going would be an acquisition in the space rather
Yeah.
than doing it all from the ground up.
I think it'd almost be necessary. It's hard to build that and gain get acceptance out there, especially because there's a lot of already established level one players. So it's either going to be an acquisition, which it's not going to be as expensive as the market cap of these level ones, thankfully, but I'm sure that there's some out there for sale. It would mean dilution, and they would still have to build upon it too. So we'll have to see. I hope it's just layer two. I really do.
I don't know, man. I think we just got our answer. But yeah. And whenever you look at the stablecoin supply by chain, it's getting more and more in favor of Ethereum. So I just ended up showing this off on stream the other day, but Ethereum's looking amazingly strong over the last few months. Base is also in here as well, which is just ran on Ethereum.
Tron.
You got to flip the graph so that the purple, so that the big ones are on the bottom. It'll make for a better picture.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was just what was.
Yeah, it's not yours, right?
Yeah. But, and you're completely right. But yeah.
I wish there was a treasury that, had Ethereum that could really take advantage of that we were all in, but,
Which I've been buying a lot of.
Yeah,
I don't know about you guys.
Yeah. I already have a lot,
but all
I've been
my
buying more.
covered calls are underwater, which is fine.
Yeah, good problem.
On BMNR?
Yeah.
What? I can't believe you're writing close. This is like the conversation we had on like the last fintech.
Yeah, on the after hours.
Yeah. It's like this thing's going, when it moves, it's going to move. Like,
it's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like that's just knowing your strategy. Like I have a certain part of BMR that's just shares, period. And I have some that are shares that I've sold very cautious covered calls that are not underwater. I have some that are a little bit more aggressive that are just in the willing portfolio. And no matter what the price is of BMR, just the goal there is income. So
Right.
different strategies. I also have vertical spreads, which yeah.
So before I let you guys go, everything's doing well. You guys are happy with this new high. Do you guys think we see even higher highs? Like we're in price discovery mode. What do you see for
I think,
SoFi going forward?
I think we've pretty much been in price discovery mode for a while now, right? So I don't know. I don't think of anything before like November 2021 is really like what I think once we got to $25, we pretty much entered price discovery mode because there was basically just one day and it wasn't even that high of volume that went up to this $28 level. So I think
Yeah.
pretty much since then we've basically been in price discovery mode. So
Well,
I don't know. It's fun. We'll see where it ends up.
yeah, it's even more so in price discovery mode because literally at all time highs. I mean, there's nothing there other than like Fibonacci levels, maybe that or some weird TA measures that I've barely heard of. But beyond that, like rate cuts, rate cut news. First rate cut landed is announced. Looks like three through the end of the year. That's not what SoFi was guiding for. They were guiding for recessionary pullback, possibly fewer rate cuts as well. We're not getting all of that. Of course, they always guide conservatively, and so this is a company that's not just going to be like, okay, all-time highs, and it'll just be stagnant and flat. As long as the macro is intact, I see no reason why we can't go up from here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be careful with covered calls at SoFi. Really careful. I might not even sell them.
I'm definitely going to sell them, but I'll go far out, like 0.1 delta. But yeah, definitely here to collect a little premium. I mean, let's enjoy it a little bit. Let's have some
Yeah, yeah.
fun. But yeah. And if there's nothing else to add, guys, thank you so much. I do appreciate your time. I don't want to keep you. Obviously, you guys are working, but yeah.
Yep, back to work. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks, Tanner.
Thanks, guys. Look at the polos that they both have on. Hey, it's crazy.
This is a button up, not a polo. Come on.
Well, he had some type of polo. I don't know.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
But yeah, it was great for them to pop in really quickly, give us some thoughts. That's awesome. It's been a long time. A lot of convincing, More price discovery for the next few months. Hey, there's a great statistic that says that markets, if there is a rate cut whenever markets are at all-time highs, that there's a 100% chance between 1980 and 2025 that stocks go up in the 12 months leading, So that's sort of what the market, I think, has seen today. There was a little bit of a sell-off yesterday, sell the news event, and now the markets are smartening up and realizing, hey, what are we doing selling these equities? Like, this is going to go much higher. Not saying specifically for SoFi, markets in general. You still need to pick the names, or at least if you're an investor like me, maybe you're ETFs or something like this. If you're going to pick an ETF, maybe pick a SoFi ETF. Help out the companies that you already like and are doing better than the SPY as it is, right? So SoFi, if you just look at the weighting of each stock, they'll pick the exact same companies as the S&P 500, but slightly alter the weightings of those companies. You can pick any time frame, and we are outperforming the SPY. The SFY is what it is, the SoFi Top 500 Select ETF. Call the milkman. The milkman's not free. No, he works. Tanner, do you have any Canadian stock recommendations? Not really. I own one Canadian stock. That's Shopify. It's one of my largest holdings, but I'm not currently buying it right now. Just holding it for my very, very long-term future. Love the management there. I love everything about that company. Apolitical, commerce, e-commerce, digitizing, AI forward, unbelievable marketing. I mean, there's nothing I don't like about Shopify. Now, if we get into like 8 River Systems and stuff and talk about where they were during a logistics period, that's a different story. But no, Shopify is great. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am not going to stay live during this period. I have to go. I've got to get out of here. And I will be back most likely on Saturday. Congratulations. Seriously. I know for a lot of you, this is, and me too. I'm not, but like some of you guys had 100% allocation in SoFi. Right now, my allocation in SoFi is like 10%, a little bit higher after today, you know? So it's great. I'm making good money. But for some of you, it's like you guys are, betting the farm on it. It's insane. So to watch that go from 7, 6 for some of you, 8, 9, whatever, up to $28 per share is insane. And knowing the fact that this could then reach 30 plus, 35, 40, hopefully sometime into the future, it's unreal. 31% in SoFi. Yeah. Yeah, now they have 6 farms. Yeah. Exactly. Outside the box, what if owning a layer 1 means... No, that's not what it means, though. Owning a layer 1 is really... I don't think there's much... Like, that means essentially to develop and design your own Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, something like this. Since IPOE in SoFi, that's crazy. That takes a lot of guts. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time. But bye for now.